Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. Thank you so much for joining me again today. In this video, I'm going to be showing you guys how to make Korean cheese balls. For this recipe, we're going to be using 2 cups of potatoes, a half a teaspoon of garlic powder, 1 tablespoon of heavy whipping cream, a half a cup of all-purpose flour, 2 eggs, panko breadcrumbs, cubed mozzarella cheese, and vegetable oil. So if you guys have ever watched a Korean mukbang, they eat these crunchy cheese balls all the time and they just look amazing. And so I decided that I wanted to know how to make them and I wanted to show you guys how to do it too. So to begin, I'm just going to boil my potatoes. Just get those nice and soft, and then I'm just seasoning these. You guys want your potatoes to be very dry, so make sure that you let them cool down and let all that moisture come out of them. Drain them really, really well. And then I'm just adding a half a teaspoon of garlic powder and just a little bit of pepper. And then you guys want to get in there with a fork or a potato masher and just mash these up really, really well. You don't want to have really any lumps in the potatoes. So you just want to mix them all up and get all of the spices nice and combined. And then I'm going to add in 1 tablespoon of heavy cream. You guys make sure you keep these potatoes dry. You don't want the potatoes to be wet at all, so be really mindful about how much liquid you're adding into these. And again, try to get all of the water out of these. Even maybe even letting them kind of sit in the fridge and get cold would be okay. All right, and then I'm just building my breading station. So I'm just using panko breadcrumbs for the outside. Just adding, I don't know, about a half a cup to a bowl here. We're going to add in our flour. This is just regular all-purpose flour, and I am going to go ahead and just season the flour just a little bit with a little bit of fresh ground pepper and some garlic powder. Just mix that up until it's nice and combined. And then in the third bowl, we're just going to add in our eggs. And try to let your eggs come to room temperature. Anytime you're working with eggs, they're just going to work a little bit better for you at room temperature. And then just whisk those up. We're not adding in any moisture to this at all. We want to keep this nice and dry. And then for the mozzarella, you guys can use fresh mozzarella balls if you'd like, but I just had this block today, so I just cut this into squares. And you just want to try to make each cube of mozzarella as much of a square as possible, since this is going to go inside of a ball. You don't want any of the cheese coming out of the ball when it's frying, because it will all come out if it comes out. So I did have to play with the size of the mozzarella a little bit. Then you just want to get your potato and just use your hands and make a nice little ball, and then just kind of flatten it out. And then we just want to basically get an even layer of the potato all the way around the cheese square. So just kind of work it, just kind of play with it. This is really, really, you got to be very gentle with these. They're very fragile. The potato comes apart pretty easily. So I'm just kind of adding a little bit extra there, and sorry I'm off camera. And then just forming the ball and just kind of go around and make sure that there aren't any cracks in the potato. And if there are, you just kind of push it together, just push it all back together and just mend those little holes. Okay, it looks really, really good. You can see I got all the little cracks worked out. Looks nice and smooth. So I'm going to go ahead and just toss this around in my flour. And at this point, you guys could actually let these sit for a while and just sort of dry out a little bit more if you wanted to, if you had the time. It's not going to hurt anything for sure. And then go ahead, and when you're ready to fry, roll them in the egg mixture and just get a nice coating of egg on the cheese ball. And then we're just going to coat it with the panko. So just get in there and just get the panko nice and just kind of coat the entire ball with the panko there. So you just kind of want to press down, and then it just sticks on there. It's really, really, really easy to do this. You guys make sure that you have your oil heated up and you're not putting the cheese balls into a cold pan, because then they will just absorb the oil and they will not fry correctly. So you can see I'm just being very, very gentle with these. This did take me a few times to get this right. A couple of them opened and the cheese just completely came out, and I was just left with basically a fried panko ball by the end of it. So just be really gentle with them and just make sure, like I said, that the cheese is completely encased in the potato. And there it is. It turned out really good. They tasted great. nice and cheesy. You guys, thanks so much for watching the video. Don't forget to give it a big thumbs up, subscribe to the channel, and ring the notifications bell. And I'll see you guys in my next video.